Right. So, um, as I promised, this video is about Elon Musk, but more news came across my computer in the meantime, and they kind of go hand in hand. But let's start with the first one, the first article. Elon Musk's ex sues advertisers over alleged massive advertiser boycott after Twitter takeover. Basically, he's claiming that this is a violation of antitrust laws. The same man who claimed that the advertisers who boycotted can fuck off is the same one who's now trying to force them to advertise. Which, I'm sorry, what? In what world do you think that advertisers can be forced to advertise on your platform? Oh, that's right, they can't. They have the ability to decide where they want their message to be spread. And you don't get a say. Unless you're the one who says that they can't advertise, that you can do because you have control over your own business. But you can't dictate who others advertise with. But anyway, let's get to the article. Elon Musk's social media platform X has sued a group of advertisers, alleging that a massive advertiser boycott deprived the company of billions of dollars in revenue and violated antitrust laws. Now, that first part is probably true. It did deprive the company of billions of dollars in revenue. However, that does not mean it violated antitrust laws, because they boycotted because you decided that you weren't going to regulate any speech. And they did not want to have their advertising next to neo-Nazi propaganda. And that is completely their decision to make. Just like it was yours to allow Twitter to become such a shit show. Not that it was the bastion of decency and morality before, but what Elon's been doing doesn't help. The company, formerly known as Twitter, filed the lawsuit Tuesday in a federal court in Texas against the World Federation of Advertisers and member companies like Unilever, Mars, CVS Health, and Orsted. It accused the advertising group's brand safety initiative, called the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, of helping to coordinate a pause in advertising after Musk bought Twitter for $44 billion in late 2022 and overhauled its staff and policies. Musk posted about the lawsuit on X on Tuesday, saying, "Now it is war," after 2 years of being nice and getting nothing but empty words. Again, you told these advertisers that were boycotting that they can fuck off. I'm not sure what you thought about that was nice. I mean, if I didn't know better, I'd say Elon sucks when it comes to business. Who would have thunk? No wonder he likes Trump. They're like two peas in a pod. Both of them got rich because of their daddies, and they've been spending their entire lives pretending that they know fuck all about business. Or in Elon's case, also inventing shit. Well, I guess Trump did that too. And by inventing, I mean just stealing other people's ideas. Like steaks, a university, Monopoly, And yes, he did actually create a board game. I can't remember what it was called, but it was basically a ripoff of Monopoly. Anyway, ex-CEO Linda Yaccarino, oh dear, that poor girl is still there, said in a video announcement that the lawsuit stemmed in part from evidence uncovered by the U.S. House Judiciary Committee, which he said showed a group of companies organized a symbolic illegal boycott against X. Symbolic, systemic. I do know how to read, I promise. The Republican-led committee had a hearing last month looking at whether current laws are sufficient to deter anti-competitive collusion in online advertising. The lawsuit's allegations center on the early days of Musk's Twitter takeover and not a more recent dispute with advertisers that came a year later. Okay. In November 2023, about a year after Musk bought the company, a number of advertisers began fleeing X over concerns about their ads showing up next to pro-Nazi content and hate speech on the site in general, with Musk inflaming tensions with his own posts, endorsing an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. Which one? He's endorsed so many at this point, I don't remember which one it was. Musk later said those fleeing advertisers were engaging in blackmail and using a profanity, essentially told them to go away. Like I said, he told them to go fuck themselves. Go fuck off. And, obviously he didn't mean it. So, but what blackmail? I mean, they didn't say that, change your ways or else. They just said, okay, you're not changing? Fine, we're leaving. So, how is that blackmail? I mean, advertisers get to decide who they want to advertise with. And they do not want their advertising to be next to Nazi crap. I just don't see how that's blackmail. Because if that's blackmail, then literally every business transaction becomes blackmail. Which tells me you know zilch about business. Which I think we kind of knew that already. The Belgian-based World Federation of Advertisers and representatives for CBS, Orsted, Mars, and Unilever didn't immediately respond to requests for comment Tuesday. A top Unilever executive testified at last month's congressional hearing defending the British consumer goods company's practice of choosing to put ads on platforms that won't harm its brand, which basically is the business model of every business. I mean, why on earth would you want to advertise on a platform that could potentially hurt you? Because people will associate you with pro-Nazi propaganda. Even if you yourself are not pro-Nazi. Just the fact that you'd be advertising on a platform that allows that content. Of course people are going to have an opinion. And it could potentially hurt your business. But that is the calculation all businesses make. I don't see what the problem is. Unilever and Unilever alone controls our advertising spending, as it should. Said prepared written remarks by Harish Patel, president of Unilever USA. No platform has a right to our advertising dollar. Exactly. Musk is just butthurt that he basically burned $44 billion. And he's desperately trying to get back money on his investment, and it's not going well. Here's an idea, Elon. How about, kicking off all the neo-Nazis? But, he's not going to do that because he's basically drunk the Kool-Aid and he himself is one now. So, yeah. All right. So that is the end of the article. That is a more harsh ending than usual for the AP. I don't understand why they... And I see that on Substack, too. There's a lot of articles that end so abruptly. Anyway, that is Elon Musk's headache on that front. Now, this is rather similar because this involves the reason why advertisers left. You may or may not be aware of the riots happening in the UK after, I think it was 2 or 3 little girls were stabbed to death in an incident where they were just celebrating Taylor Swift's music. And there's all sorts of disinformation going on online. And of course, Elon is putting fuel on the fire, as he does, because he's a free speech absolutist or something. Anyway, let's get right to it. Euronews takes a look at the series of false claims online, often magnified by ex-owner Elon Musk, which has had a significant hand in sparking riots across England and Northern Ireland. Specifically, the disinformation that the culprit was a illegal Muslim. Illegal immigrant and Muslim. So the two boogeymen of the right. People who they deem illegal and Muslims. So it marries the two beautifully. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has been ensnared in a war of words with Tesla's CEO Elon Musk over riots that have gripped the nation for the past week. I hope you don't lose any brain cells doing that. As pockets of far-right violence continue to erupt around the UK following a knife attack in Southport that killed 3 girls, Musk has blasted Starmer in a series of posts on X for his handling of the crisis. Of course. Musk's social media platform has played a central role in the saga up until now. It was first used as a tool to whip up frenzy and misinformation about the Southport attack and has since become a channel for the tech billionaire to criticize the Prime Minister and give an even bigger platform to the rhetoric that has led to the subsequent violence. So, let me get this straight. His posts on his platform, because it was spreading disinformation, caused the riots. And now he's blaming Starmer for the riots that his platform caused. Perfect. All right. Here's a look at the posts on X that got us here. Okay. Where are the posts? All right. Not seeing any posts. So let's move on. All right. False claims about the Southport killer take hold. 3 girls were killed in a mass stabbing at a dance studio in the northwestern English town of Southport on July 29th. The news instantly triggered speculation online over the identity of the alleged murderer, with many incorrectly claiming he was a Muslim immigrant. Because, again, the two big boogeymen for the right are immigrants and Muslims. So, yeah. And of course, non-white immigrants, because white immigrants doesn't bother the right at all. Because they seem to think white people are superior to everybody else. It was soon announced that Welsh-born Axel Muganwa Rudakubana, a British citizen whose parents were originally from Rwanda, had been charged with murder in connection with the attack. Still, the Islamophobic narrative had already taken hold. And of course, as we all know, people are much more willing to believe a lie that they think makes sense, that they want to believe, rather than the truth, because the truth can be messy. And, we want easy answers as opposed to anything complicated, like this guy being a British citizen. I mean, what the hell? Why is it so hard to believe that? I mean, he's still black. So, at least you got that going for you, you fucking racists. Alright. Well, at least this tweet uses the word alleged. So this is from Europe Invasion, which, that tells you all you need to know about their views. Breaking. A man attacked a nursery in Southport and stabbed 6 children. Okay. Multiple ambulances attended the scene. 1 child died. The attacker is alleged to be a Muslim immigrant. Okay, so this is not specific to the Taylor Swift thing. Alright, from the British Defence League. The authorities have taken the trouble to inform us of the identity of the Southport stabber, adding that he comes from a Christian family. They have stopped short at denying unequivocally that he is Muslim. Wait, what? For now, we have to take them at their word and accept their assumption. And I don't think I can... Oh, where's my... Oh, boy. Okay, let me make this bigger. Alright. Have stopped short. For now, we have to take them at their word and accept their assumption of his faith. What the hell? Why can't you believe that he's Christian? Oh, I know, because you have it in your heads that no Christian has ever, in the history of ever, done anything bad, ever. Are you sure about that? The truth will win out at trial anyway. Exactly. Unfortunately, you're going to ignore the truth or deny the truth because, you don't actually care about the truth. So if the riots were the result of misinformation regarding this vile creature's faith, why are they still happening? Because people don't fucking listen, that's why. That's very easy to figure out. I would suggest the following. The authorities and the police have formed for suppressing delicate details, and as a result, their claims are not fully accepted. Okay, so you don't believe the police. How is rioting helping anything? And even if this man was Muslim, and the police were lying. Okay, the police were lying because they knew that people would lose their shit if they found out he was Muslim. Okay, fine. And that doesn't mean that attacking a synagogue, that's Jewish, a temple, is going to, oh, Jesus Christ. That's not where Muslims worship. My mind is, it's late. My mind is goo. Regardless, why attack all Muslims? Are you honestly telling me that no Christian has ever committed a crime and all Muslims are guilty just for being Muslim? I'm sorry, that means you don't give a shit about the truth, unless the truth reflects your bigotry. Regardless of his faith, we are fed up to the boiling point about how ethnics are having the full run of our country. Yeah, you just contradicted the first statement, and are treated with impunity by the authorities. Translation: white people can't get away with the shit they could, and now we have to share power with ethnics because, white people aren't the center of the universe anymore. We will no longer accept uncontrolled immigration into this country by fighting aged men who then go to commit dreadful crimes on our shores. Before returning to their fully inclusive taxpayer-funded hotels. I'm sorry. Have you seen the way the Tories have been treating immigrants? Are you sure that's the take you want to use? Oh my God. Not to mention this assumption that all immigrants are criminals and us good Christians wouldn't harm a soul. And that's why crime never existed in Britain until immigrants started coming. Seriously, is that really the take you want to go with? These three things need to be sorted out, and voices need to be heard. The PM and the police are actually stoking deviant unrest with their two-tier approach to dealing with it. And if they really want to get to the bottom of why the riots are happening, they need to take a closer look to home. Two-tier care is the hashtag. And then there's a cartoon with a police officer, a Canadian police officer, because it has the Canadian flag. And his thought bubble says, "Together we will make this country yours." And this person, who I guess is supposed to be Muslim, thank you, and his thought bubble says, "Thank you for being so weak." Because, that doesn't scream racism and Islamophobia and whatever else. Anyway, that tweet went way too long. The name Ali al-Shakati was attributed to the alleged attacker, with no official source given to the name. Fact checkers have since traced it to a dubious Russian-linked fake news outlet masquerading as a legitimate American news site. Because, just in case you thought that the Russians were just interfering with the U.S. elections. No, they're trying to stir up shit in Britain as well. Because they're trying to weaken the West so they can do whatever the hell they want. Like invade and take over Ukraine and God knows where they would go next. Because Putin has decided that he wants to be the Tsar of all Russias and he wants the Soviet Union back. I'm really curious which American news site they claimed they were. The claim was picked up by far-right agitators online, including anti-Islam activist Tommy Robinson, whose real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon. I realize that this is just the far right engaging in confirmation bias. They already wanted him to be a no-good Muslim immigrant. They already wanted that to happen, so they just sought out information that that confirmed what they wanted. Because if they bothered to, look up the name, they might find out it was made up. Because I doubt that this name is associated with any one person. Because if it is, I feel for whomever is going to end up getting attacked because of this. Controversial influencer Andrew Tate, I thought he was in jail, incorrectly said on X that an undocumented migrant who arrived on a boat was behind the killings. Why am I not surprised that Andrew Tate is also in on this? With Nigel Farage, leader of the far-right Reform UK party, questioned whether police were telling the truth when they said the attack wasn't terror-related. Oh boy, we have all the intellectuals coming out on this one. The claims quickly spiraled among xenophobic far-right groups who quickly came together to spark riots in more than a dozen towns and cities in England and Northern Ireland. All right, so now we know that background and what a shit show. Let's get to the next part. Starmer takes swipe at social media. The UK government has repeatedly denounced the violence, with Starmer making a series of emergency speeches in which he blasted the far-right thuggery gripping certain pockets of the UK and announced new measures to crack down on those taking part, whether directly or from afar. In one speech, the Prime Minister noted the dangerous role that social media can play in whipping up public disorder, which some saw as him throwing barbs at Elon Musk. Which, probably not wrong. Alright, so this from Adam Schwartz. Starmer makes a thinly veiled threat to Elon Musk. Let me also say to large social media companies and those that run them, violent disorder clearly whipped up online, that is also a crime. The law must be upheld. We will take all necessary actions to keep our streets safe. And you know what? If they end up having to shut down X because of this, I'm fine with that. Because Elon is willing to bend over backwards for, I don't know, what was it, Saudi Arabia? To, the guy who claims to be a free speech absolutist, willing to curtail free speech, or maybe it was China, to allow the government to regulate what is said on X. So, yeah. He's only a free speech absolutist when it's speech he likes. So, yes, absolutely, take on Elon Musk. I wholeheartedly agree with that proposal. Alright, Musk enters the fray, because of course he can't keep his fool mouth shut. Criticism of social media, and X in particular, for their part in provoking the riots soon began making the rounds online, with much of it aimed at X's owner, Elon Musk. The story caught the eye of the tech billionaire, who soon began making his own incendiary remarks against the situation in the UK, such as civil war is inevitable, and likening the country to the Soviet Union. Oh my God. All right. So, this is a retweet. First, Libs of TikTok, which they've never met a conspiracy they didn't like. What the fuck is going on in the UK? Total madness. Yeah, your people, the right wing, is what's the total madness. They are causing destruction and attacking innocent people because they have been given the excuse of a Muslim migrant killed people as an excuse to go after Muslims because they were just chomping at the bit to attack innocent people that they don't like. So, some Ashley St. Clair responded, "The effects of mass migration and open borders is what's going on." Sure. They have open borders. Yeah. That's why they left the freaking EU. Because they felt like it was just open borders. So Elon Musk helpfully tweeted, "Civil war is inevitable." Yeah. If you want civil war so bad, why don't you, go to Ukraine and fight for Russia? And let's see how much you like civil war then. And yes, I know it's not a civil war. It's one country invading another. But the guy is wetting himself for a war. So let's give him an actual war. Take him to a war and let's see how he likes it. As Starmer and the rest of the UK government continued to update the country on the state of the violent unrest, Musk continued to wade in. Of course he did. The Prime Minister's spokesperson said there was no justification for Musk's comments and that social media companies should be doing more to stop the spread of hateful messages. Exactly. Alright, so Keir Starmer. "This is not a protest, it is pure violence. We will have a standing army of public duty officers. We will ramp up criminal justice. We will apply criminal law online as well as offline. We will not tolerate attacks on mosques or on Muslim communities." Mosques, that is the word I was looking for. Jesus Christ. And Elon Musk so helpfully tweeted, "Shouldn't you be concerned about attacks on all communities?" Oh, great. He's an all lives matter dipshit. Dude, who is the subject of the attacks right now? Who is the subject of the riots? That's right, Muslims. So, of course, right now, the concern is Muslims. I swear, this man if he has a brain cell, it is the size of a pea. And that's actually being insulting to dinosaurs. Because they actually did have a pea-sized brain. Birds have a pea-sized brain, but they're intelligent. So, yeah. All right. Among his potshots against Starmer, Musk has regurgitated the unsubstantiated idea of different approaches to policing pushed by the likes of Robinson and Farage. Government ministers and police have repeatedly refuted the claim. Robinson has since seized on Musk's words and used them to amplify his own as he continues to fan the flames of racism and violence online. I swear the right is just one giant circle jerk. I'm serious. This is just insane. All right, Elon Musk's tweet. Why aren't all communities protected in Britain? At Keir Starmer. And this is in a response to Justin, Birmingham, England, August 5th. Armed Muslim patrol members surrounded and attacked a pub after marching around the area looking for white right-wingers to attack. The rumored far-right protests never materialized. The Muslim rioters attacked journalists, and that's where it ends. It's like, what reality do you people live in? I mean, do you love your propaganda so much that it's not that you don't recognize what's happening in reality? You just don't care. You revel in the madness because you hope that your side will come out on top. I mean, seriously, what is going on here? In other posts, Musk appears to repeat a claim that has been circulating widely among the far right that the UK media is stacked against them. This is misleading. Broadcasters are bound by impartiality rules and regulated by the Telecommunications Authority, Ofcom. The British print and digital news industry, on the other hand, does not have the same impartiality requirement, and newspapers often show their political ideology. However, the vast majority, such as the Daily Mail and the Daily Express, are right-leaning and therefore naturally misaligned with the UK's centre-left government. Okay. So Elon Musk tweeted, "Is this still happening at Keir Starmer?" And there's no context, there's no photo in this or anything. And so someone responded with, "Elon Musk is doing a better job of holding the government to account than the entirety of the UK media." And Elon Musk responded with, "Why does the UK media, with a few exceptions, just parrot the government?" Oh, my God. He is such an asshole. But let us not forget that this man grew up in apartheid South Africa and actually got rich off of apartheid. Well, his father got rich and, gave him money because lest we forget he's not a rags to riches story. He's just like Trump. He had a rich daddy, and they exploited people who they saw as lesser than them. In both cases, they hate black people. So, yeah. Sometimes the Tesla CEO refrains from commenting himself, but instead boosts controversial claims made by others. He manages to refrain himself? Wow. He often responds to posts such as those below with single-word messages expressing his agreement with or approval of what is being said. At other times, he responds with posts such as 2 exclamation marks. Okay. Doing so hugely amplifies the original post, owing to his vast followers on X, over 190 million followers, which is just sad considering how insane he's gotten, and inevitably influence on the algorithm, which has the potential to give misinformation and incendiary messages significant reach online. His posts can easily pick up hundreds of thousands of views. And someone responded with, "Britain is turning into the Soviet Union." And Elon Musk says, "Seriously. I'm sorry. I'll take, you don't know what the Soviet Union is for 1,000, Alex, because Jesus Christ, this is just like saying the left are communists." I don't think you know what words mean. No, not at all. I definitely don't think you guys know what words mean. Okay, and this from the account End Wokeness, which again tells you everything you need to know about these douche nozzles. So, and it puts up a cartoon and says, in a nutshell. So there's a black guy with a candle, it looks like, holding up Black Lives Matter, and a reporter saying, mostly peaceful protesters. And then there is a Palestinian carrying the Palestinian flag and a baseball bat. And the reporter is saying, diversity is our strength. And then they have a picture of a white dude carrying the Union Jack, and the media person is really far-right terrorist. And Elon Musk responds with, exactly. I really want to know what world these people live in, because it's not the real world. All right, now more tweets from Pagliacci the Hated. And I'm sure he's going to give us reasons for why he's hated. I'm assuming it's a he, but... A few months ago, they started letting rapists walk free because prisons were overcrowded, but they've somehow managed to manifest 500 new cells out of thin air for British people tired of seeing their kids getting raped and murdered. Right. Oh, and it's from the Telegraph. Don't jail rapists and burglars. Our prisons are too full, judges told. And another one that says, ministers prepare extra 500 prison places to remand suspected rioters. And this from Shabana Mahmood, who's an MP. My message to anyone who chooses to take part in this violence and thuggery is simple. The police, courts, and prisons stand ready, and you will face the consequences of your appalling acts. And Elon Musk gives 2 exclamation points to that one. It is just unreal how batshit insane these people are. Musk is no stranger to courting controversy online. He routinely makes inflammatory remarks on his social media platform about a whole host of topics, including U.S. politics, transgender issues, and immigration. And yes, our politics and UK politics seem to be very similar. Both our right wings are absolutely insane, and the left is desperately trying to be the adults in the room. But it's hard when you're dealing with impetulant children. Okay. Thanks to his high status and significant sway in the social media world, such comments can easily catch the media spotlight, driving users back to X and ultimately back into Musk's sphere of influence. Except for the advertisers. And, yeah. And the only people who are flocking back to X are either people who buy into this bullshit or who think that they can actually change anyone's mind on the site. Because this has turned into a right-wing site, and I'm guilty of this. Occasionally, I will respond to these dipshits, and I wonder why. Why am I even trying? Because these people do not care. Hell, I got this on Threads. Someone who doesn't care about reality. And, attempts to, troll me into hating on them or something. I honestly have no idea. Countries have looked to take more steps to regulate social media in recent years over its potential to facilitate the spread of misinformation and hate speech. The EU recently brought in its Digital Services Act, which requires platforms to take more responsibility for protecting their European users and cleaning up harmful or illegal content and products on their sites under threat of hefty fines. In the wake of the riots, UK government officials such as Technology Secretary Peter Kyle and Home Secretary Yvette Cooper have hinted that they also have social media companies in their sites. Despite the UK passing an Online Safety Act around a year ago, the law is not yet fully in force. And, I'm all for free speech. I'm an actual free speech advocate. But at the same time, what is the actual point of lying about this? I mean, it's one thing to discuss different points of view. I mean, okay, you hate Muslims and you're going to assume every bad thing that has ever happened in the history of ever was done by a Muslim. Okay, fine. But why turn that into, we know for a fact that this person is Muslim and the police are just hiding the truth because they want to protect all these Muslim criminals, all these vile people. That's a totally different thing. That is going from I hate Muslims to I'm going to make the whole world hate Muslims. Dude, there are Muslims, they're radical Islamists who are doing a spectacular job of getting people to think that all Muslims are like them, which ironically they do not do when Christians commit acts of mass murder. Those people somehow get a pass. It's not all Christians, but somehow with Muslims it becomes all Muslims. It is just absolutely insane how this is happening. Anyway, that is the end of that article. So, yeah, that's what's been happening with Elon Musk lately. And let's hope that his free speech absolution, which he's not, because I'm as close to a free speech absolutist as you will get, but I know that there are limits. Threatening people, definitely a limit. You shouldn't threaten people. You should not advocate violence. That's just not what you should do. Because it's one thing to say, oh, somebody should shoot so-and-so into the sun. That's cartoon violence. Literally nobody is going to think, oh, I should try to kill this person. No, I advocated cartoon violence, not real violence. That's like watching Looney Tunes and getting upset that it advocates violence. Nobody thinks that a anvil is going to fall on anyone's head. I just don't see where you are turning cartoon violence into real violence and then trying to claim that you're the innocent ones, even though you're the ones who are actually advocating violence against a group of people you don't like just because you don't like them. It's just mind-blowing. But anyway, I believe that is all I have for this video. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one.